Please welcome His Excellency Engineer Sharif العلماء, Under Secretary for Energy and Petroleum Affairs at the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure, and Professor Ghassan Awad, Chancellor of Abuظبي University and Conference Advisor.
Assalamu alaikum. It's a real pleasure, Your Excellency, to be sharing the stage and do this interview, far chat. I don't know what you want to call it, but this will be a dialogue. It would be nice to hear more from you about your vision within the ministry, your achievements, a day in the life of the Undersecretary. How do you start your day? How do you finish it? And so on. It would be really nice.
Thank you, Professor.
Pleasure.
I have to go back to where I actually started off. By background, I'm a mechanical engineer, and I had the pleasure of working for around 20 years in ADNOC. My day typically starts now when I'm in the ministry at around 5 a.m. I have gotten used to being in the office at 6. I don't think my employees appreciate that, but that gives me a heads up. I usually use my first few hours to streamline all the work that I have to do and prioritize my main targets for the day. In the ministry, Professor, we are doing exceptional things. For those of you who do not know, the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure is the biggest ministry across the globe. We have done a benchmark, and we could not find one ministry that has all of the sectors that we are responsible for. This includes oil and gas, mining, electricity, future energy, transportation, land and sea, infrastructure, and housing. So the scope is huge. And this ministry was formed back in 2020 at the peak of COVID. To be honest, when it was formed by a cabinet resolution, we were questioning the viability of having all of these sectors together. But now, 5 years down the road, I think the results prove themselves. When we merged, the total revenue for the ministry was in the range of around 85 million dirhams, while we would take a budget from the Ministry of Finance over 700. I'm proud to say that next year, we will exceed the budget that we get from the Ministry of Finance, i.e. we will be the first ministry that is self-sufficient when it comes to funding. So we've done great things, and I don't want to say everything in the opening statement. A lot of things will come during the questions, I think.
It's absolutely amazing to see the size. And do you sleep at night? The question, maybe not. But well, like you as well, with Dr. Ali, we have to work very hard as well for the benefit of the university. And I think what's happening in the UAE is really commendable. Everybody has started to see the UAE as a role model, I must admit. But please, just tell me about what outcome do you most want from the UAE energy transition this decade, in the next 10 years?
I think His Highness Sheikh Nahyan mentioned some key words, and this is really what our strategies are built around. For me, a successful transition over the next decade would be if you see environment, nature, technology, and society coexisting and reinforcing one another, not competing with one another. You would have a transition where clean technology would protect the environment, but at the same time, clean technology needs to utilize advanced technologies. And by doing so, it can guarantee us prosperity for our people, for our societies, and for our economies. This is really the vision we have that we want to achieve over the next 10 years.
So really, it's a diversified approach, which I understand benefits somewhat. In terms of using technology, I mean, we have seen this morning the use of AI. I'm sure in your ministry, and the UAE, we know is the second, by the way, colleagues, the second country in the world the UAE is in the use and investment in AI. What type of investment you are making in the ministry, and how AI and data sciences, etc., analytics is helping the ministry?
See, the reality is, and for those who haven't picked this up by now, I think you really need to put more effort into it. AI for us in the energy sector is like the nervous system of the human body. We count on AI on many aspects. AI helps us to predict our demand forecast. All of you do know that renewable energy is an intermittent source of energy. We are looking into establishing renewable energy monitoring centers that are driven by AI. So basically, these centers are interlinked with the meteorological systems. They have the capability of doing machine learning and trending what has happened over the years, and accordingly predict where you might have cloudiest days or less sun or less wind. And this kind of a model utilizing AI helps us prepare our energy systems to cope for these dips in energy supply. One example I will give where the AI is helping us in managing our energy consumption is we did a very quick pilot project in one of the mosques that are available in the country. By utilizing AI, we were able to reduce the electricity consumption of the mosque by over 20%. Very simple application. We had AI driven cameras that would, over a period of time, monitor the number of individuals coming and praying in the mosque at the different times. And over a period of time, they could actually predict how many people will be in the mosque at what time, and accordingly control the cooling system in the mosque. And the result was phenomenal. And this is a very basic application of AI. So if you keep that in mind and you take it on a broader space, looking at the Emirates Monitoring Center, we have a monitoring center in the ministry that monitors all the power generation in the country. And we are currently working on developing an AI platform that would optimize power production from all the various sources we have. So if there is a dip in renewable energy, you will have the fossil fuel-based power generation coming online, and ensuring that the energy system in the country is resilient, without any outages, and providing the best power with the least emission.
It's interesting how you have given some very basic examples where you can get a lot of benefits. Imagine with the proper use of the technology, we can get a lot of benefits. You know, I attended the ADIPEC conference and exhibition. I attend every year. This year, we took part in a panel discussion about skills and how do you motivate the younger generation to become involved in the energy sector. Of course, the ADIPEC conference and exhibition is the biggest in the world, maybe, or one of the biggest for sure. But I would like to hear from you about, we are dealing with generations that born between 1996 and 2012, and their priorities are really different. How would you motivate them to become interested in the energy sector, affordable energy, and so on? I'd like to hear it from you.
Okay, I want to be very blunt. And whenever there is a talk about sustainability and emissions, discussing fossil fuels, I've seen on a number of platforms on a global scale, it's a taboo. Let's be very blunt over here. I do not see an energy system in the future without fossil fuels. Yes, renewable energy is an alternative, but it is an intermittent alternative. We are developing right now technologies of storage that can make your renewable energy available around the clock. However, with any intermittent type of service, you do require immediate dispatchable power. And that is where we do require gas-driven power generation. Now, saying that, I'm not promoting emissions. What I'm saying over here is we do require fossil fuels, but that does not mean that we need to entertain the emissions. There are technologies today that deal with these emissions, carbon capture and storage. We do have live examples in the UAE. Riyadh, a power plant, captures CO2 from a steel plant and utilizes that CO2 in our oil reservoirs. So my message when it comes to the younger generation is there are some key factors you need to focus on. Oil and gas will remain over the next several decades a major pillar for energy security. So that is a discipline that we really need to focus on. Hand in hand with that, we need to look at other disciplines like what are the technologies that are related to carbon capture? What are the alternative fuels? One thing that we always talk about in the ministry is the fuel of the future, hydrogen. And hydrogen has its own technologies that we really need to prepare our younger generation to cope with. There is also AI and machine learning. This definitely is going to lead all the transformation we are seeing, and it will make the transition a reality. More importantly, again, with the uptake of artificial intelligence, cybersecurity is going to be of a critical importance. So these are my advice to the academics and the students that are available over here or who can hear me, is these are the key sectors that I would highly recommend they focus on.
I want to ask you now, and I will not be offended. Do you think universities in the UAE are doing enough in terms of setting up the right program, doing the right research, the right innovation? And I'm sure my dear colleagues will not be offended at all as well.
No, I am confident. I have been interacting with a number of the universities in the country. I actually had a visit to the University of Sharjah 2 weeks ago. I have been engaging with Khalifa University and King Abdullah University from Saudi Arabia.
Cool.
And I see huge potential in terms of the work that they're doing. I will give a very quick example. Most of you know that UAE, we are in a region that is scarce in water, and water is life. So we count heavily on desalinating seawater. And part of the desalination process is you have a high salinity brine that gets discharged into the sea. One of the projects that the universities are working on is they're capitalizing on the brine, processing the brine, getting additional fresh water, and also producing key minerals like magnesium, sodium, and others. The sodium gets to be used in batteries, sodium-ion batteries, that help our renewable energy projects with storage capacity. This is a perfect project where I see that there is huge potential in the universities we have. And in that context, Professor, I extend my arm to all the universities, as we want to work with you. We do have certain challenges. We know where the trends are going on a global scale. We know what the political scene is driving when it comes to carbon credits, carbon taxes, and all of that. And there are certain areas that we need help when it comes to researchers. And I believe we'd have that capabilities in the UAE.
It would be our pleasure to collaborate with you on things which can help UAE PLC. At the end of the day, all of us working for the UAE. My very last question, your top priority over the next 12 months?
There are so many. The top priority we've had is, it's going to be over the next 12 months, and it has been for the past 2 years, is we have come up with a mechanism where we are enticing the private sector. No matter what ambitions we have, no matter what strategies we have, the fact remains is we do require innovation. We do require technology to make our aspirations a reality. We are blessed in the UAE, alhamdulillah. We are blessed with the leadership we have in the UAE. We are blessed that in the UAE, we have a pro-investment environment. where a lot of investors do come over here. And we are creating models in the ministry where we partner up with the private sector, because we do have robust policies, we do have a clear long-term vision when it comes to our energy demands and the energy supply that we require. We have bankable frameworks, PPAs, green finance, blended finance, and we have policies that protect the ecosystem, that embrace technology, and that serve the society by creating jobs, by having resilient systems, by having affordable energy. We are open for business. The private sector is looking for these assurances to deport their technologies in the areas that we require. From our perspective, we deliver our mandate, we attract foreign direct investment, and in some cases, we are creating new revenue sources for the government. So it's a win-win situation.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your leadership and vision. I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you.
You're welcome.